Okay, this next exercise is neck CARS. CARS stands for controlled articular rotations. An articulation is when two bones come together to create a joint, and we want to control moving that joint through whatever motion that we are trying to do. For the neck, we are going to take it through all of the different movements that it can in a controlled manner. So what movements can the neck do? It can flex, it can extend, it can laterally flex to either direction, and then it can rotate to either direction. And so we are going to make kind of a circular motion going through each one of those. This is not a neck circle like you would do in a warm-up. I want you to find the max range that you can control and hit all of those ranges of motion and all of those movements. I like to think of if you're making a cake, right? I can batter or whip the batter kind of in the middle, or I can scrape the edges of the bowl to really get all of that mixed in. We want the second one. We want the scrape the edge. That being said, I don't want this to be in a range that you can't control, or in a range where you feel any sort of uncomfortable, painful, unproductive sensations. This should be, once again, controlled, which is why it's called controlled articular rotation. So to start, where is our body in space? We want our rib cage stacked over our pelvis, and then our head on top of our rib cage as much as our body will allow us. I do not want any up and down shrugginess happening with your shoulders as much as we possibly can control. So I like to think that I'm holding onto two heavy suitcases because we're traveling out of town. The other place that people tend to cheat is if I want to look to the side, I can keep my head straight and twist my torso and make my head go off to the side. Or I can keep my torso still and move from my neck to look off to the side. A lot of times people do kind of both, right? So they'll look to the side and maybe they don't have full rotation, and so there's a little bit of thoracic rotation that happens too. No, resist. If you find yourself struggling with this, which a lot of people do, especially if you are part of the hypermobile gang, putting your back up against a pole or the corner of a wall can be a really nice addition to give you that tactile feedback of whether or not you're rotating in your torso. Or just being able to see yourself in a mirror too can be kind of helpful. You're moving your head around, so that might not be the best option, but the tactile feedback on your back tends to go pretty well. So check in. We're carrying heavy things. Head is stacked over rib cage is over pelvis. We are going to look down, and then we are going to scrape our chin on our collarbone, looking kind of diagonally armpit, and then going to rotate ear towards my shoulder. And then I'm going to draw a big circle with my chin, looking up towards the ceiling, bringing my ear to the other shoulder. Chin is going to rotate down, so I'm kind of looking diagonal down again, scraping my chin on my collarbone and coming back to a neutral point. Side note for this, I have a hypermobile neck and a very long neck, and so your movements might look different than mine. Do what makes sense with your individual anatomy. And then I'm also trying to not scrape my microphone with my chin, so on this side it's going to look a little bit different than on this side because I don't want to have you guys have to listen to that. So we're looking down, we're scraping, kind of finding a 45-ish degree angle. We're going to laterally flex and kind of rotate, getting into extension. Once again, this is all in the productive range, and so make your circle smaller if it doesn't feel productive. Ear to other shoulder, chin looking down at that 45, scrape the chin on the collarbone, and then same thing, other direction. Trying to not have my shoulders come up, trying to not rotate in my thoracic spine as I'm doing this.